Hopefully one of these pours is the one. I want it that way, but we're totally double blind, so before this is over, both of these could be tearing up my heart. I sure hope not.
I want it that way.
Let's get into it.
Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Erin.
I'm Josh, and we're back like Backstreet with another double blind tasting. Have no clue what are in either one of these glasses, but we're going to taste them totally double blind, give you our impressions, tell you which one we like more. I might take a gander, a wager. I might levy a wager. I might guess at the ballpark price point a little bit later.
There we go.
These have been drawn at random from our blind sample pool, full of a bunch of bourbon and rye matchups that are paired up for one reason or another, whether it's available or allocated, whether it's
You gotta stop talking. I gotta talk.
two shelfers, or whether it's something just to keep us on our toes. You're having reactions. What are you getting?
This smells good.
Okay.
It smells like...
I had to stop talking so you could say, this smells good.
Yeah. Because... So, normally, whiskey smells like whiskey. Y'all hear me? Like, you know what I'm saying? It just smells like everything else. This also smells like whiskey, but with a step above. Like whiskey on another level. Like, it smells kind of like bacon in a wood cabin.
Okay.
And I really like that smell.
I follow you there.
Bacon has just been cooked in like a wood log cabin in a stone fireplace, though. In a log cabin. And bacon has just been taken off like the skillet.
Smells like sweet bourbon. To me, it smells like old bourbon. It's got, you're saying log cabin. I'm getting this very old oak note on this. And I could be totally wrong on that. But I'm getting a little bit of cherry sweetness.
Yeah.
And just almost like this old whiskey sometimes. I'm not saying whiskey from yesteryear, but just whiskey with a lot of age on it. Sometimes can get this furniture varnishy type of note, or like an old antique store type of note. And I'm kind of getting that in this. And I don't know if that's the way it's coming across to me right now.
I'm not getting that on the nose, but who knows about the taste. The talent. The taste and the palate. Let's get it on the palate. I'm getting some pink erasers.
Mm-hmm. I see you there.
But I've kind of become accustomed to that flavor profile.
I wonder what it is. I try to put these pieces of the puzzle together for myself and for you guys so we can try to figure out what she's talking about. And when you say pink erasers, I wonder if it's like this muted cherry note, because that's what I'm getting in this.
I don't know if I would register it as a cherry note. It's muted. Something is muted. I think maybe it's a muted cherry note mixed with oak.
Yeah.
There's like a dry... Like, if you were to be eating an eraser, there'd be like a dryness to it. But there's also a flavor there of like rubber.
Can't say I've ever eaten one, but
well, I've never eaten one. But if I imagine,
based on what it smells like, what it would taste like,
I would imagine that it would be kind of dry, probably crumbly. I mean, based on the nature of what an eraser is made of.
First sip into this, I get the cherry, I get the what seems to be old oak concentrated flavors. But it kind of surprised me a little bit. And now that I go back to the nose, I'm getting a little bit of floralness. Not so much like a flower itself, but more like I'm outside near a field of flowers.
Interesting.
And I find it really pleasant. Let's get another sip on this, because that first impression, you can't trust it.
Yeah. Good thing I didn't trust my first impression with you. Just kidding. You made a very good first impression.
First impressions are everything, right?
Mm-hmm. But you can't trust him, according to Josh.
That's true sometimes.
Sometimes you can't.
Second sip, what do you think?
It's still pretty good. It got a little more drying, less the flavor punch of the pink eraser kind of died down and just became drying. I do think, as of now, I think this is a whiskey that smells a little better to me on the nose than it tastes.
Interesting.
For now, we're gonna do an A/B comparison later, but first impressions, I think it smells better than it tastes.
She's gonna mess with my OCD already.
Oh my gosh.
That was really syrupy. The proof kind of came down a little bit for me on second sip, so it came through a little bit more silky-like, but very syrupy, very concentrated flavors for what seems to be a kind of a moderate, maybe around 100 or just north of that proof point. Not trying to guess, just letting you know the experience, because
I feel like it might be slightly higher than 100.
Right, but let's say this is 115 and it's drinking like 100, 105. That is something that somebody might want to know.
Yeah.
But I find one very enjoyable. Let's get into glass 2 on the nose and see how it compares.
I was just about to do the same thing too.
Yeah, do it.
It smells similar, but...
Oh, I'm getting your bacon now. There's a little savoriness on glass 1.
This one smells similar to glass 1, but maybe younger. Like there's a little bit less of like
It's not as rich.
There's not a richness undertone there like there is with the first one.
Yeah, it's funny you should say they smell similar because I think the flavor notes, you know, if you're talking about flavor sliders, all the same sliders are engaged. Or the flavor knobs are all the same ones are engaged,
well,
but
kind
it's
of.
different intensity
Different levels of different,
Yeah, one is jumping out of the glass. Two's coming alive a little bit more now.
I think there's just that it's missing the bacon backbone, I'll call it.
The depth, yeah. It smells really good too. It's good on the palate. Oh man, I like that too. It's good but different.
Yeah, it tastes, again, similar to the first glass, but it's less of the pink eraser note and more of like just the drying note.
The oak?
The oak.
Yeah. Are you getting that oak spice on the back of the palate?
Not yet, but I typically get that with my second sip.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little more dry oak, and it almost is a little bit more drying on the palate.
Slightly.
A little more spice on the back palate.
Ooh, I am getting a little spice now. Now that I've like taken a second to talk and let air come in, I'm getting some warmth on the palate.
Maybe it's just me this day or whatever, but both of these are hitting me really concentrated, sweet, but sweet in a way that's been tempered by the oak in a really nice way so that they're not overly sweet.
I agree.
But they both taste like bourbon and they both taste like sweet bourbon. And I like sweet bourbon that's concentrated in flavor. And both of these seem to be kind of hitting that mark.
Yeah.
I'm salivating right now. I hope that's the mic's not picking
Let's
that
do
up.
a second sip.
Second sip on two.
Yeah, everything kind of stayed the same.
Wow.
They're very similar, but different.
Yeah, they are similar but different.
Like, if I had to guess, just based on knowing nothing about these pours, I would guess that they're maybe from the same family. One might be older. This one might be older, then this one might be a little younger. But that's just on first impressions alone.
These, honestly, and I can't remember what all we have in our sample pool. This might be a curveball matchup that we've put in here where it's not something available versus something on the shelf. These taste like they almost taste like vintage whiskey to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like
Why?
we were just in Louisville, and there's a bar in Louisville called Neat, which does a lot of vintage whiskey. You can get vintage whiskey by the pour.
What about them makes you think vintage?
There's like this
reminds you of
antique
vintage.
store, old attic type of thing going on in both of these that are coming through for me. They're
on
kind
the
of
palate? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, on the palate.
Like,
And
are you thinking like dusty?
Yeah.
I guess you just say kind of florally.
there's a note in older whiskey. Earlier I said older whiskey, like aged whiskey. There's a note in whiskey that was made from a different generation that is like this antique store type of note that does not exist in modern whiskey. Tastes very clean. And to me, these don't taste clean like that.
Interesting.
And when you lean away from clean, you can go towards the craft direction where it's a little bit more funky and it can even get kind of farmy in a bad way or funky in a good and interesting way. Or if you're going to deviate from clean towards the vintage whiskey route, and watch, like, these are brand new releases, I'm sure.
It might be,
And
but
I'm
if they
making
give
a fool of
you
myself.
if they give you vintage vibes, if that's good,
It's good to know. Yeah. And maybe it's me this day or whatever, but we'll spend some time with these and figure it out. I don't know which one I like right now more.
Yeah, they're
Similar but different.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like them both.
This is a really interesting matchup. It's probably a curveball. I'm probably going to be kicking myself later for even putting this in the pool. I have no clue what it could be.
Why? I'm not kicking it. I wouldn't kick it. I'll kick it with you anytime.
Can you kick it?
I can kick it. Wait,
Okay.
is that
Yeah.
it's a rap song? I don't
Yeah.
know.
All right.
I know enough to know that I don't know that rap song.
I know enough to know that we don't know what we're talking about yet. So we're going to take some time, figure this out. We'll be back with our results, some ratings, and all that stuff, and then we'll find out what we're drinking. See ya. Super interesting to spend some time with these. What do you think? Where are you at? We haven't discussed this.
Yeah. So I like them both.
Mm-hmm.
They're both getting a thumbs up.
Okay.
However, I do have a preference,
Okay.
and I'll tell you why. My preference is glass one. At first, it was because the nose was just really good to me. They tasted very similar, but the nose on glass one just smelled sophisticated, a little more sophisticated. However, as I was tasting them more and more and more, back and forth, this second glass got a little tiny bit of like a chlorinated taste to it.
Interesting.
Ever so slightly. And so I think that tipped me to liking this one more. That being said, I still do like the second glass.
Yeah.
So they're both getting a thumbs up.
Okay. I like them both a lot. They're both very sweet, fairly approachable. Glass 2 has more spice. Glass 1 is a little bit more softer. has a better nose. Glass 1 has the better nose of the two.
I agree.
And it even got butterscotchy as I went back to it.
Interesting.
And I don't know if I'm feeling like these are whiskeys from yesteryear, which doesn't make any sense because I don't think we have anything like that in our blind sample pool.
Yeah, they're probably not.
So if you like vintage whiskey or have tried vintage whiskey or want to get something that's reminiscent of vintage whiskey, these are two things that you should check out if they are available on the market today.
Yeah.
They come through with a concentration of flavor, butterscotch, cherry oak, vanilla. Like, splitting hairs, they're both thumbs up for me. I don't know which one I prefer more. I do like the nose on 1 better. I like the spice on 2 better. I think the overall experience on 1 is just a little bit more cohesive.
Okay.
So I'm probably going to lean towards that because 2 does lean a little more drying.
It does a touch.
A touch.
Like ever so slightly.
Yeah, just a titch. But
or
I don't,
a touch.
Honestly, I don't have a frame of reference because these feel, and here's the thing, I'm talking about them like they're whiskey from yesteryear. I don't think that's true because the proof is too high for that. I think these are well above 100 proof. We don't have anything like that in the pool. I'm honestly quite confused with this matchup.
Okay, well, don't try to guess what they are.
Price-wise, I don't know. Like, I'm thumbs up on both, only because the experience or the flavor profile, I prefer a little bit of like depth and richness. These are fruity, sweet, light in flavor profile.
Sorry, I was on the wrong key.
And the oak is what anchors it, but it doesn't have like deep fruit. It doesn't have dark fruit. It doesn't have dark caramel and chocolate going on. So frame of reference, I don't even know. I have no clue on price. These are very concentrated, very rich. I mean, I'm thinking in my mind, something like Calumet 16 is a $150 bottle, and the experience is similar to these two. I would be very happy to pay $50 to $70 for either of these bottles. I'd be ecstatic to pay that for both of these.
What would you pay?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, to me, they strike me like that Calumet 16, Jack Daniel's 12.
So let's say this one was like $150. Would you pay that?
I think that's a valid price. Is that
Okay.
what Glass 2 is?
That is what Glass 2 is. $150.
Number 29.
Number 29 in our pool.
I'll stay thumbs up.
I'm going to go to just okay.
Because
it's a lot of money, and the first glass is $80.
Whoa. Are you serious?
Yeah, and I liked it better anyway, so I'm staying thumbs up.
Whoa. Hold on. Do I have to go 2 thumbs up on Glass 1? Or $80?
$80,
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so butterscotchy.
It smells a little more aged, and it tastes very similar without the chlorinated note that Glass 2 has. All right, you want to find out what they are?
Man, hang on. I might have to go 2 thumbs up on Glass 1. Here's the thing. Do I have to have a bottle of it even at 80? I don't know, because that's the thing. 2 thumbs up for me means I have to have a bottle of it.
Okay.
And so, like I said, it doesn't have those deep, dark, rich flavors. It's quite bright. It's quite light. It's fruity, vanilla.
There is a little bit of a darkness tempering the sweetness, but it doesn't have like the dark caramel and chocolate notes that you tend to like.
For that experience, I'm going 2 thumbs up because it's borderline, but I'm gonna go 2 thumbs up. I'm 2 thumbs up on Glass 1. I'm staying a strong thumbs up on Glass 2.
Okay. And I am thumbs up on Glass 1. Just okay on Glass 2.
Okay. Let's find out what we're drinking. Let's do glass number 2, number 29.
Maker's Mark Private Selection.
Whoa.
And it's 109.1 proof.
Oh, wait. What's number 1?
Maker's Mark Cellar Aged. And it's 115.7 proof.
I don't even remember which private selection this was, but I know the reason I put this in the pool.
One or both of these is thanks to John Michael Elder.
The Cellar Aged.
The Cellar Aged.
Thank you, John Michael.
Thank you, John Michael. It's delicious.
Wow. That Cellar Aged is crazy.
So,
you know what I almost said? Can I just say this? I almost said these taste like vintage wheated bourbons.
No one will ever know if that's true or not.
Oh, you know what I think this is?
Just because you said it doesn't mean it's true.
I know what it is. This is the Fruitgate pick. Wait, hold on. You said number 2 was $150. You mixed the price up.
No.
Or you mixed...
Number 29. Oh!
You mixed the price up.
I did not mix the price up. I mixed the
Oh my goodness,
names
this
up.
is so confusing for viewers. Can I show them? Look,
No.
The way our pool works. Let's look at this.
Okay. Cut the tape.
Time out.
I misspoke. Glass number 1,
which we preferred both,
is still $80, but it is the Maker's Mark Private Selection, 109.1 proof, not the Cellar Aged. I got them confused. Glass number 2 at $150 is Maker's Mark Cellar Aged at 115.7 proof.
Okay, so the reason this was put into the blind sample pool was because I wanted to see if Private Selections could go toe-to-toe with Maker's Mark Cellar Aged.
I think so.
I think we just proved that that's a true statement. We both preferred that.
Science.
I went 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, you did.
Of course, the Private Selections can vary quite a bit. So, you know, depending on the state profile or whatever, you know, you never really know what you're getting into with those. But you could run across a real gem like this one.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, you could run across a dud, which is, honestly speaking, when you're buying something like Cellar Aged, you know you're getting a quality product that has been crafted to a standard that I stayed thumbs up on it, but you went down to just okay.
Yeah, just because it's a little pricier than I wanted to pay, especially because I liked the first one better.
Well, and for $80, like less than half
for less.
About half the price, yeah. So, okay, very, very telling, you know.
Yeah.
First time trying Maker's Mark Cellar Aged, I believe, for myself. Definitely your first time.
Definitely my first time.
I may have tried to pour this with Justin, but I can't remember or not. But anyways, these are both very good. Very good.
Yeah.
We do tend to like makers. We do tend to like cast strength makers, especially when it's been stave finished or apparently very well aged. But here's the thing. This is an 11 and 12 year blend.
Okay.
Mainly 12 year.
Okay.
And we said that the Private Selection tasted older.
It did.
It didn't have the spice.
It smelled older.
It smells older.
I don't know if it tasted older, but it smelled older for sure.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, we say fight the FOMO. You know, maybe you've tried Maker's Mark Cellar Aged and you absolutely love it and you're over the moon for it. In that case, if you're willing to pay for it, then knock yourself out. I think what this has proved to me is that I'm kind of okay if I don't ever get a bottle of this. Would I like a bottle of Maker's Mark Cellar Aged? Yeah, it'd be nice. I'd like to have one. I said thumbs up.
But you're not going to be upset if you have the Private Select instead because you liked it even better. At least this particular one.
Pretty much every Private Selection we have is very good.
Yeah.
If not flat out great. So I'm pretty happy with that. And if you think this channel is flat out great, then you should definitely like this video, subscribe to the channel, and then hit that bell down there so that you can tune into one of our live streams. Join us for a pour. Sorry about the kerfuffle on this one. We don't typically have those.
That was my bad.
It's okay.
When
okay. Hey, everybody makes mistakes.
The higher number is the second glass, it gets confusing.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah.
It's all good. And speaking of mistakes, if you want to make a mistake, no.
If you don't want to make a mistake.
You would be making a mistake if you didn't check out our Patreon community down in the video description below. Full of a bunch of people who do good, be good, and drink good whiskey. Down there in the video description below.
Y'all be good now, you hear?
Good people, good whiskey. Chatting whiskey all day long on Discord. That's where we release our barrel picks. You know, if we ever do a maker's pick, that's where we will release it.
Yep.
And I will be trying to recreate this butterscotch vintage bomb that we have right here in glass one, if we ever do one. But yeah, you can check that out down there. Also, virtual tastings. I'm doing Patreon live streams almost weekly.
Very whiskey nerdy Patreon live streams. So if you want your whiskey to get your whiskey nerd on, check out Patreon.
Yeah, check that out. And then check out, again, if you like the shirt and you want to get more of this or other shirts, you can check out stuffandwhiskey.com.
Yep.
We have all that over there. And yeah, I think that's it for this one.
That is. Be good to each other and do good. Until next time, cheers.
Cheers.
It's tearing up my heart when I'm with you. 'Cause when we are apart, I feel it too. Yeah. And no matter what I do, I feel the pain.
With or without you.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'll just leave all this in the beginning. Nobody's watching now.
No, they're like, I'm gone.